On the 16th of April, 2006, a group of pilgrims from Kachara House went to Gaden in Mungod, India, to make offerings of a set of robes and a Manjushri statue for each of the monks of Gaden. 63 of us from many different countries such as Malaysia, Singapore, the United Kingdom, the United States, Switzerland and Thailand, led by His Eminence Tsem Tulku Rinpoche, were fortunate enough to make an amazing trip to Gaden to make this most meritorious offering. For many of us, it was our first glimpse of Gaden. Almost every brick of these buildings has been donated by sponsors who wish to preserve this amazing heritage of teachings and knowledge. What we can see today is the result of many years of hard work. It was an opportunity to be able to see for ourselves how the donations from Kachara House have contributed to the building of this illustrious monastery. This is our story. Preparations began 1.5 years ago. 3,000 Manjushri statues were organized by Geshe Punsuk and hand-painted by Kunga, our resident artist. Statues of Buddhas represent Buddha's body and translate Buddhist concepts into visual representations. Buddhist statues remind us of the virtues of Buddha and inspire us to develop these virtues ourselves. Each of the robes consists of 3 pieces of cloth, and the whole offering for 3,000 monks needed around 8,000 meters of cloth. The cloth had to be cut by hand and wrapped for offering day. We arrived at the crack of dawn. Our spiritual advisor, His Eminence Tsem Tulku Rinpoche, is greeted by Gaden Rinpoche. The High Lamas escort the image of His Holiness the Dalai Lama into Gaden Lachi. Tsem Rinpoche stands closest to the image as he represents the sponsors, and it is also a mark of honor. Tsem Rinpoche prostrates to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, whose presence is symbolized by his throne. The monks bring breakfast of bread and tea, which is sponsored today by Kachara. Breakfast is served in the prayer hall. The more senior monks sit in the front, and the abbot emeritus, and the High Lamas, like His Holiness Dzong Rinpoche, have tables in front of them. The yellow vests which these monks wear also denote their seniority. These senior monks are served first as a sign of respect. Gaden Monastery consists of 2 colleges, Jangze, who sit on the right side of the hall, and Shatse, who sit on the left. Jangze means north and Shatse means east. Tsem Tulku Rinpoche comes from Gaden Shatse, and usually offerings are only made to one's own college, but today our offerings go to the entire Gaden Monastery. Kachara pilgrims get breakfast of bread and tea too, which was kindly prepared and served by the monks from Phukang Kangzen, while Tsem Rinpoche patiently explains details from his throne, which overlooks the prayer hall below. Phukang Kangzen is the college within Gaden Shatse to which Tsem Rinpoche belongs, and whose monks are helping to organize logistics for the offering today. The Shakyamuni statue on the altar of the Lachi looks benevolently over the whole proceedings, while we watch with awe from the balcony above at the holy monks in the prayer hall. The disciplinarian announces the list of offerings and the respective monetary value of each offering from Kachara House. This is a tradition to ensure that offerings are transparent to all. The offerings and the Lama Chopa Puja officially begin. Tsem Rinpoche leads the pilgrims into the Lachi and offers the body, speech and mind of Buddha to the throne representing His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. The offerings are presented with Tsem Rinpoche's aspirations and prayers on our behalf. Offerings are given with katas, which are usually a white silk or cotton cloth, and decorated with the 8 auspicious signs. Katas are traditionally offered to express respect and gratitude. Tsem Rinpoche offers katas to the High Lamas as a mark of respect. These High Lamas are revered for their attainments, their previous achievements like the Abbot Emeritus and previous incarnations. For example, Gyume Kensur means that he was previously an abbot of Gyume the Tantric College. His Holiness Tsem Rinpoche's previous incarnation was Tsem Rinpoche's root guru. There are many wonderful stories behind each of these lamas which you can hear about at Gaden. Tsem Rinpoche offers katas to Buddha statues. When we make offerings to Buddha statues, it signifies remembering the kindness of our parents and anyone who has been kind to us. We offer this gratitude up to the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We make offerings to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, not because they need or want them, but as a sign of our own practice. The more regularly we give to a higher being, the more we will become accustomed to being generous and reducing our attachment and miserliness. When we offer a kata to a high lama, we are offering our aspirations and prayers. Simply by their accepting the kata or putting the kata back over our shoulders, it signifies an acceptance of these prayers and the giving of blessings from the holy lamas. The Dharma protector protects the Dharma and helps to remove obstacles to allow the growth of Dharma. The offering of Manjushri statues begin. Many monks are very poor and would not even imagine being able to have a statue. Even if they can afford it, they may not be able to afford to obtain mantras to put inside the statues, let alone gold on their faces. Being a monastery, study and the transfer of knowledge are the focus of activities at Gaden. Therefore, Lord Manjushri as the Buddha of wisdom is the most appropriate Buddha to inspire the Sangha. Now, anyone who can circumambulate Gaden will be circumambulating 3,000 more Manjushri statues, which will give many more blessings. The robes are ready for offerings. The Gaden lachi is now too small. There is not enough room for all the monks to sit inside, hence the urgency to build a bigger prayer hall. Imagine, when High Lamas visit Gaden, not all the monks will be able to participate due to constraints of space. Tsem Rinpoche offers robes to the High Lamas. The offerings of robes to holy monks is a universal tradition across different faiths and cultures. It is meritorious to offer robes to monks, as it is their only form of clothing. Due to poverty, some monks only have one set of robes, and when that set is being washed, the monks simply have to sit and wait for them to dry. By making this offering to the Sangha, it removes mundane distractions from the Sangha so that they can focus on prayer and study. Sincere offerings made with a selfless motivation are very beneficial, as they bestow upon us countless merits. The accumulation of merits is one of the basic tenets of attaining enlightenment, the other being purification of negative karma. Merit increases our compassion and wisdom and alleviates our suffering by allowing us to acquire knowledge more quickly. Making offerings also helps us to develop our generosity and to reduce our habituations of stinginess or miserliness. This may also create the causes for spiritual and material wealth, as well as becoming naturally generous. Making offerings of Buddha statues to the Sangha is especially auspicious. Every prayer a monk makes to the Buddha statue will convey a blessing on the giver. Even having the opportunity of offering Buddha statues to the Sangha is special and must be a result of some good karma of all those involved. The monks chant a special new prayer to bless all the Kachara pilgrims and the sponsors of the offerings. It is customary for the monks to give the donors an offering of appreciation. This is usually a token sum in an envelope, which is presented with a kata to each pilgrim. The pilgrims are also given sticks of incense, so that they can in turn personally make offerings to the Sangha. The offering of incense to monks has many meanings. Firstly, it is the offering of fragrance, which creates the aspiration that we may hold our vows and keep perfect samaya, which means commitment to my gurus. Incense also represents morality, and when we offer incense to the monks, it symbolizes the aspiration for attaining faultless morality. It also creates the causes to be born in clean and comfortable places. Burning of incense also symbolizes the burning of attachments, and aspiring towards non-attachment is one of the key teachings of Buddhism. It does not mean that we should not enjoy ourselves, but that we should not be obsessed by any of our desires. The middle path says that you can enjoy nice things, but by having no attachment to them, we will not suffer when we don't have the things we want. How often have we been upset when we have lost something or someone close to us? And how long have we suffered? If you think about it, practicing non-attachment is actually very logical, and everything is impermanent and will eventually disappear. While offering incense, the pilgrims will offer prayers for the benefit of others and the removal of obstacles from Dharma practice. During this time, we can also dedicate our merits accumulated to all sentient beings and everyone who has ever been kind to us. The monks are now finishing the Lama Chopa Puja. Lama means teacher or guru, and Chopa means offerings. A puja is a prayer session. It is very good karma or fortune to be in the presence of a Lama Chopa Puja. Only people who have been initiated can carry out these prayers, and it is even more powerful when the prayers are chanted by the holy Sangha of Gaden. Tsem Rinpoche explains to us that when we are in the presence of a puja, we are all blessed, purified of negative karma, and negative energies are quickly chased away. It is very healing for the body, but more importantly, for our minds. It temporarily calms our minds so that we can engage in deeper thoughts. And then, when we calm ourselves more and more, we are able to engage in deeper and deeper thoughts. These deeper thoughts become more habitual and stronger, and finally overwhelm all other thoughts. The Lama Chopa is also known as the offering to our spiritual masters. This practice is one of the expressions of devotion and appreciation towards the kindness of our gurus and the wisdom and knowledge they impart to us. The qualified guru from an authentic lineage is seen as supreme, as he or she is the one who will pass down the priceless treasures of the Buddha. These are his teachings on methods to liberate us from suffering and allow us to reach for enlightenment. The younger monks sit patiently in the courtyard outside the lachi. They are also given a statue and a set of robes each. Despite the crowded, uncomfortable environment and their young age, especially the little ones, the young monks are happy to sit and wait to receive our offerings. It was such a humbling experience for all of us. The younger monks enter the monastery from a very early age. Tibetan families consider it a great blessing for the family if one of their sons enters the monastery. For Tibetans, who were a mostly nomadic people, entering the monastery was one of the means of getting an education. The opportunity to attend an illustrious monastic university such as Gaden is a blessing indeed. For these young monks to have their own statue so early in their lives is relatively rare and is a blessing for both the monks and also for us. As the monks are all of different shapes and sizes, it would be an impossible task to make up their robes in full for them. So each monk was also given 150 rupees each for the stitching of their robes. After almost 5 hours of prayer, it was all over. The monks leave the lachi to continue with their usual daily routine of lectures, study, and debate. Before and while they leave the prayer hall, they recite the dedication prayer. May all conducive conditions arise and all obstacles be pacified in order to increase infinitely the doctrine of the spiritual king Tsongkhapa. Their walking out into the world as they recite this prayer symbolizes a spreading of Tsongkhapa's teachings far and wide. Kachara pilgrims have the rare honor of taking a photo with the High Lamas of Gaden. By the smiles on all the pilgrims' faces, everyone was moved by the morning's offerings and inspired from the heart to help Gaden any way we can. We were even more touched later when we found out that the Lama Chopa Puja had not been compulsory, and the sheer number of monks who participated showed us their humble appreciation of our offerings and their deep respect for Tsem Tulku Rinpoche. We also learned from the monastery later that the 63 of us had been the largest group of pilgrims to ever visit Gaden, and that today's offering was the first time that anybody had made offerings to every single monk in the monastery. Tsem Tulku Rinpoche pauses outside the lachi for a moment to explain to us that it is very unusual to have photos with the abbots and high lamas. He then invited us to go to visit his college, Gaden Monastery, where they will be holding a satrap puja shortly. Gaden Monastery is just a short walk across the courtyard from Gaden Lachi.
Tsem Monastery, Gaden Monastery. You come to my home now.
We follow Tsem Rinpoche to the audience room upstairs.
You have to understand, this monastery is the extension of the original in Tibet. In Tibet, the original Gaden was built 600 years ago by Lama Tsongkhapa, and it was predicted by Lord Buddha himself. He also predicted Shatse and Janse belong to one monastery, but because of administration, it's separate. So myself, I'm responsible for Gaden Shatse Monastery.
Geshe La, representing the Gaden Shatse Educational Department, presents the body, speech and mind offerings to Rinpoche, and after exchanging blessings, he humbly requests Rinpoche to live long and to continue turning the wheel of Dharma. The satrap puja at Gaden Shatse is just beginning. The monks of Gaden Shatse are all seated and are already starting this special prayer session to our Dharma protector, Satrap, which will be conducted for and on behalf of Kachara House. The traditional prayer instruments like horns and bells are also getting ready to accompany the puja. Tsem Rinpoche leads Kachara pilgrims into the Gaden Shatse prayer hall with body, speech and mind offerings. As always, offerings are first made to the throne, representing His Holiness the Dalai Lama. The abbot of Gaden Shatse, Ken Rinpoche, puts on his hat to receive the body, speech and mind offerings from Tsem Tulku Rinpoche. In making these offerings, we are actually making the sincere aspiration that we may achieve the same good qualities of body, speech and mind as the high lamas and Buddhas. Rinpoche offers a kata to the abbot to receive his blessings. The abbot, out of extreme humility, insists on making the first offering instead. It was wonderful to see such spontaneous mutual respect. They then share an affectionate moment together. Next, Tsem Rinpoche offers body, speech and mind to the Abbot Emeritus, Khensur Konchok Chering Rinpoche, and then he humbly offers the body, speech and mind of Buddha to his root guru, His Holiness Kyabje Song Rinpoche. Tsem Rinpoche bows low to show great humility and respect and makes aspirational prayers before each offering. Finally, he offers a kata to His Holiness, which His Holiness places over Rinpoche's shoulders as an acceptance of his prayers and a blessing. Tsem Rinpoche visits the Satrap chapel and makes prayers at the Satrap altar. Here, he offers a kata to the Satrap statue, which was handmade by His Holiness Trijang Rinpoche, one of the tutors to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. This beautiful 13-deity Yamantaka mandala was sponsored by His Holiness Song Rinpoche. and is one of the main focal points in the prayer hall. Dharma protectors are not confined to the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. Setrap was brought to Tibet from India by Lama Lodin Sherab. After a while in Tibet, Setrap told the Lama that he missed India and its lush forests. After thinking about it, the Lama composed an orchestra of musical instruments for Setrap. The thigh-bone trumpets and horns represent the elephants of the forest, which in turn represent strength and patience. The Dhammaru's cymbals and bells represent the mixture of noise in the forest, and when Setrap heard all this, he was very pleased by the Lama's offering. As the puja draws to an end, the Kachara pilgrims make offerings of incense to the Sangha. The disciplinarian puts on his hat and announces in chant style that the puja is over and asks the monks to bless us. The monks reply that they will. The monks of Gaden Monastery then start to leave the prayer hall to continue with their classes of study and debate, while the Kachara pilgrims remain in Setrap's chapel for a private prayer session. To have the opportunity to recite prayers in Setrap's chapel at Gaden Monastery is an honor indeed. The monks even opened up the cabinet and allowed us to place our pearl offerings on Setrap. This means that whenever the monks make prayers to Setrap, through our offerings we will be blessed over and over again. We now make our way to His Holiness Tsem Rinpoche's household, known as his ladrang. The photo at the bottom is His Holiness Tsem Rinpoche's current incarnation, second his previous incarnation, and at the top his guru, His Holiness Trijang Rinpoche. The stupa contains the relics from His Holiness Tsem Rinpoche's previous incarnation. Tsem Rinpoche shows utmost reverence with full prostrations to his root guru, His Holiness Tsem Rinpoche. He proceeds to make body, speech and mind of Buddha offerings to his guru with heartfelt aspirations, as is the tradition.
And we offer precious medicines and vitamins and soaps and malas and mutik, pearls that His Holiness Kyab Saranji. In this life and all lives may we receive Dharma and attain His enlightened state.
The complete guru devotion Tsem Rinpoche shows to this seemingly young man may be difficult to understand for those not familiar with the Buddhist belief of continuing mind streams. Buddhists believe that the mind does not perish at death, but continues onto the next life. However, only highly attained beings can control where and when they are reborn. Through a thorough process of identifying incarnations, Tibetan Buddhist High Lamas have been traditionally returning, lifetime after lifetime, to help benefit others since beginningless time. Tsem Rinpoche is one of the most revered Lamas in the Gelugpa lineage, and has had many incarnations that trace all the way back to the time of Lord Buddha. In his previous incarnation, he was the abbot of Gaden Monastery, and after this post, he travelled often to give teaching. He was also invited by Lama Yeshe and Lama Zopa to travel with them on world tours and give tantric and sutra teachings. To be able to meet him this time and to receive his blessings is incredibly meritorious and auspicious. The Kachara pilgrims must have had a lot of good karma and merit to meet such a high Lama so early on in the day. We hope that we will gain the karma and merit to be able to meet such high Lamas and learn from them again and again and again. A wonderful moment recorded for posterity with His Holiness Tsem Rinpoche.
这个是 Rinpoche 的以前闭关所用的小木屋，最右边是牛棚，左边是他所住的地方。
This is exactly where my bed is. Then I sit here cutting as you walk back and forth. Oh, everything's the same. This one I put up. This one. Nice, huh? Happy. Because this is my guru's house, so I like to live here very much. And one time got snake inside. So I look inside, I look behind, look up, down, all around. Even now. But when we build a retreat center, I'll make it better than this.
We are now on our way to visit Gaden Shatse's Abbot Emeritus, Khenso Konchok Chering Rinpoche. Khenso Konchok Chering Rinpoche is a great scholar and has worked hard and travelled for the monastery. He was one of the monks from the original Gaden in Tibet, who came to India and helped set up Gaden as we know it today. Rinpoche makes an offering of a Tara statue to Khenso Konchok Chering Rinpoche to request him to remain and continue turning the wheel of Dharma and to teach his knowledge to others who will greatly benefit from it. Khenso Konchok Chering Rinpoche advised us, above all, to use this life to benefit others and strive towards enlightenment. We were then hosted for tea by Pukang Kangzen, Rinpoche's Kangzen. Monks from Pukang Kangzen make an offering of the Pandit's hat to Tsem Rinpoche to request him to turn the wheel of Dharma.
This is a gift from my Kangzen to me. It's a Dharma hat asking me to turn the wheel of Dharma, to spread Lama Tsongkhapa's teachings. When they give you the hat, it means that it's according to rank. It's a very auspicious Tsongkhapa's hat. And remember, this is auspicious. Why? It's given by the 400 monks. They represent them. So when they give you this hat, it means you have the authority to wear it, because not everybody can wear Lama Tsongkhapa's hat. Very nice. Good, right? Lama Tsongkhapa's hat.
With the acceptance of the monk's offering and for auspiciousness, Tsem Tulku Rinpoche puts on the Pandit's hat. This represents that he accepts their request for him to turn the wheel of Dharma. We look out to the debate hall of Gaden from Pukang Kangzen.
Take a picture of this land with a tree.
This is a piece of land which Rinpoche has leased from Gaden to build a guest house, so that future pilgrims from Kachara can come and take retreats, pray, or simply bask in the serenity that is Gaden. Rinpoche's dream is to make Gaden accessible to us. Let us do our best to make his dream come true. We walked past the monks' dormitories that Tsem Rinpoche raised funds to build in 1992. At the debate hall, where Kachara House sponsored the marble flooring, Tsem Rinpoche looks at the altar.
Guess what they gave me or us, which is wonderful. They gave Buddha Shakyamuni Tanka as a gift, because we sponsored the floor, and 8 volumes of the written works of His Holiness Kyabje Trijang Rinpoche. So these are Trijang Rinpoche's own writings, his biographies, and different subjects, written by His Holiness Trijang Rinpoche himself.
Next, we visited Geshe Namgyal Wangchen Lak, who is the current tutor of His Holiness Kyabje Ling Rinpoche. Geshe Wangchen stays at Drepung Monastery, a sister monastery of Gaden, which is a 5-minute drive away. As Tsem Rinpoche makes his prostrations, Geshe Wangchen stands up and bows his head to receive them, showing his humility and respect for Rinpoche. Tsem Rinpoche offers several gifts, including vitamins and medications to Geshe-la, especially because his health is not good, although you wouldn't think it when you see his warm and smiling face. Rinpoche shares pictures of Kachara in Malaysia, which makes Geshe-la very happy. It was dark by the time we reached the abbot's audience room. Rinpoche makes his prostrations to the abbot of Gaden Shatse, Ken Rinpoche, who looks on smilingly. He was very kind to receive us at this late hour and accept our offerings, blessing us with katas in return. Next, Rinpoche makes offerings to the great master, Geshe Yeshe Gyaltsen Lak from Gaden Monastery, who is highly respected for his clear morality, extensive knowledge of Sutra and Tantra, and a renowned divination master who predicts the future accurately. Again, showing utmost humility, Geshe Yeshe invites Tsem Rinpoche to sit on the throne out of respect for Rinpoche's rank as a High Lama. Several monks from Gaden Jangze come to present body, speech and mind offerings to Tsem Rinpoche. Geshe Yeshe also presents body, speech and mind to Rinpoche. Geshe Yeshe presents a kata and gifts to Tsem Rinpoche with gentle humility.
Have a seat. It's not from a perfume or wash. It's a smell. It's called holding your bowels very well. So we used to call it the Geshe of Vinaya, or Geshe of...
We had a wonderful surprise at the end of the day. The monks offered a Manjushri statue back to each and every one of the pilgrims. It was an incredible way to end a day of meeting and receiving blessings from these living treasures of Tibet. It had been a long, amazing day, and we will never forget what a precious, priceless and privileged day today has been for the rest of our lives. We all came home inspired and excited to help the main Gaden Monastery in India, as well as our affiliate of Gaden in Malaysia, Kachara House. Kachara House has various activities for its growing members. There are regular prayer sessions every Tuesday and Thursday evening of Tsongkhapa's prayer, which is also known as the Miksima. Every Sunday afternoon, there is an Introduction to Buddhism class at 2 o'clock, which is led by senior students on basic topics such as the Eightfold Path, the Four Noble Truths, Karma, etc. After this class, there is another session called Manjushri class. This is a more advanced class where students can discuss and study the beliefs and practices of Buddhism. Under the Kachara group, there is a small but very busy department called Kachara Media and Publications, also known as KMP. KMP was set up by a group of Tsem Rinpoche students to publish Rinpoche's teachings in order to benefit those who were not able to attend the precious teachings. KMP now has a large selection of books and DVDs available to the public. Funds from sales are plowed back into the department for future publications, as the department strives to be self-sustaining. However, KMP also welcomes anyone who would like to sponsor or contribute towards the publications, as it would be of great benefit to the donors. Kachara also has Dharma stores in various parts of Kuala Lumpur. These stores are strictly not-for-profit, as all proceeds are channeled back into getting more products for the stores, and also a percentage is sent back to Gaden in India. The statues are personally handpicked by Tsem Rinpoche and his senior students to allow practitioners to have access to beautiful statues which have the correct iconography. These stores are not conventional stores, as their purpose is to act as Dharma temples in busy shopping areas, to plant imprints and blessings on passers-by. Kachara House is very fortunate to have a resident Lama who comes from the illustrious lineage of Gaden. As his teachings become more and more popular, the number of people who attend his teachings has grown. Kachara is now growing, and we are in the process of building a new temple. Tsem Rinpoche's long-term vision is to have a retreat center called the Tsongkhapa Retreat Center, where everyone is welcome to seek to learn or to find inner peace. One of Gaden Shatse's current projects is to build a hospital for the monks and the surrounding area. This is an uphill task, and there is an urgent need for assistance in this project. Kachara members are now working very hard to raise funds and contribute skills towards realizing all these plans and visions. We welcome you to join us in the joy of knowing that we too can make a difference. May all conducive conditions arise and all obstacles be pacified, in order to increase infinitely the doctrine of the spiritual king Tsongkhapa. By the merits of the 3 times of myself and others, may the doctrine of Lama Tsongkhapa blaze forever.
Jawa Lozan Java, Yamba Yurin,